Today, we are diving into a concept that's part mystery, part philosophy, and just absolutely fascinating. We're talking about the mystery of the 11 Rudras. So let me start with a question for you. You know that feeling, right? When things just get so out of hand, when injustice seems like it's winning. And then, somehow, something seems to step in and restore balance. Is that just wishful thinking, or is there something real at play? Well, it turns out that in Hindu philosophy, this powerful, balancing force isn't just some vague idea. It actually has a name. It's known as the Rudras. And they represent a pretty fundamental principle of the entire cosmos. The name itself is just so descriptive. The word Rudra can be understood in a few really powerful ways. One meaning is the one who makes the wicked cry, by holding them accountable. It also means the one who shatters ego and the one who ends falsehood. It's basically a force that exists to confront and dismantle all things negative. And here's where it gets really interesting. Rudra isn't just one single thing. The concept actually refers to multiple forms of a divine energy, an energy that embodies this whole spectrum of cosmic forces, everything from righteous anger to fierce compassion, all with the ultimate goal of creating balance. So, how many forms are we talking about here? The ancient texts are very specific. There are 11. This energy shows up in 11 distinct, powerful forms. The big question, though, is, where did they even come from? To figure that out, we've got to go way back, all the way back to the beginning of creation for their pretty epic origin story. So the story goes that at the dawn of time, the creator, Brahma, is in the middle of forming the universe. But as he's doing this, he feels this profound distress, this kind of cosmic anger about the imbalance he sees emerging in his new creation. And right out of that intense foundational emotion, that cosmic anger and distress, an immense and radiant power was born. This was the original Rudra. But here's the kicker. This initial energy, it was so fierce, so unbelievably potent, that the cosmos just couldn't handle it in one single form. It was too much. So to be controlled and channeled properly, it had to be divided. And from that one primal force came the 11 Rudras. Okay, so now we know their origin story. But what exactly is the point of these 11 guardians? What's their true role in the cosmos? Now, this is a really important distinction. While sometimes, you'll see them shown as specific divine beings, a lot of sources see the Rudras as something deeper, more like personifications of a universal energy, a force that isn't just out there somewhere, but is present everywhere all the time. And their job descriptions are incredibly diverse. They represent righteous anger against injustice, but at the same time, they embody fierce protection of the innocent. They're a force for destroying evil, sure, but, and this is crucial, they're also the catalysts for rebuilding and renewal. It's all part of this continuous cosmic cycle. So what's the trigger? This cosmic energy doesn't just act randomly. The whole idea is that it activates specifically when truth is being silenced, when tyranny is on the rise, and when injustice starts to win. You could almost call it the universe's self-correcting mechanism. Now, I know this all sounds very grand and cosmic, but what if this force isn't just something external? What if it's also deeply, deeply personal? And this is where the whole concept gets really intimate. Some scholars and philosophers actually suggest that these 11 forces aren't just celestial beings out in the cosmos. They believe they exist inside every single one of us, popping up in our emotions, our temperament, and the huge decisions we make. Think about it like this. You see something happen that is just plain wrong. You feel that spark of righteous anger. Not petty rage, but that deep gut feeling that this shouldn't be happening. Then, somehow, you find the strength to act with courage, to stand up or speak out. Is it possible that in that exact moment, you're tapping into a little piece of that same Rudra energy? So how can we make sense of all this? The concept of the Rudras is still this profound mystery, but we can try looking at it through a few different lenses. Through the lens of faith, you could see the Rudras as a divine guiding power. If you're looking at it from a more modern scientific angle, you might see it as a metaphor for a universal law of energy, action and reaction, cause and effect. And from a philosophical perspective, it's simply the cosmos's own built-in balancing force. But look, at the end of the day, whether you see the Rudras as gods or as psychological states, or even as a law of physics, their form is debated, but their function is crystal clear. Their one and only purpose is to tear down imbalance and bring back equilibrium. And that really leaves us with one last big thought. The next time you feel that pull to protect someone, to fight an injustice, to stand up for what's right, even when it's the hardest thing to do, just take a second and ask yourself, is that just me? Or is it something more ancient, more powerful? Maybe a Rudra waking up inside?